Yeah.
Metuchen Bulldogs and Middlesex Blue Jays. Hello, everyone. I'm Ike Bush, along here with Henry Sia. We're going to be calling the Metuchen Bulldogs versus Middlesex Blue Jays game, and it's senior day here for the Bulldogs after a long festivities. We are ready for some football here. It is 1:01, and we're going to get started here at the Brainy Burrow. Henry, what are you looking forward to see in today's game?
Well, 2 days ago, or last week, they faced let me just get on my notes. They faced Johnson, and they ended up almost winning the game, but AJ Cardillo fumbled the game-winning touchdown, which would have gotten them their third straight win.
So now that we're underway, we're gonna get it started just around the 30-yard line. The Bulldogs did win the toss, and they did elect to receive the ball, so they're going to get the ball from the 30-yard line. This is the Bulldog team that won 2 straight entering last week's game. They did play, as you said, the Johnson Crusaders, and they fell just short. 17-13 was their final in the close game. AJ Perillo had the game-winning touchdown in his hands, but he fumbled the ball just on the goal line in a very questionable and very controversial call by the ref. So they're led by their quarterback, Stephen Metuchen. Keep an eye out for him, of course. Keep an eye out for AJ Perillo, who plays all sorts of positions on both the offense and defense. Starting at running back in the backfield is Perillo, 2 out wide. Holloway out to his left, sending out Sadovsky in motion. He snaps. It's a handoff to their star guy, AJ Perillo, who's going to truck his way up to the 35-yard line. So, what do you think the best part of AJ Perillo's game is? You know, he's so versatile. He can do so much with the ball in his hands. Without it, he covers, he occupies the best defenders on him, leaves better gaps for these other players. So what do you think is his best quality as a player?
I think the best qualities of it is his explosiveness and his physicality. Like, he could just make that one cut and then end up using his athleticism to get past defenders and push them in order to get a big gain.
Absolutely. Super speedy and super quick is AJ Perillo. Here's the run. They're going to give it back to AJ, and he's going to get maybe a yard. It looks like the ball may have popped loose, but no fear for the Bulldogs. They're going to get it back just about a yard for the Bulldogs. We'll set up a 3rd down approaching midfield. They're just about the 35-yard line again. They're going to set him short of it. So it sets up 3rd down and 4 yards to go. So now they're going to run out Andrew Antaporta, which is like their power running back that they like to use. Sadovsky runs off. They got the play in mind, going over their play. So now the Bulldogs, their record now is 2-5. They won 2 straight after snapping their 16-game losing streak a few weeks ago at the whiteout game. Dropping back and rolling out. He's got plenty of time. Now he's got some pressure. Hauls it deep. It's, wow! What a catch. It was Aiden Holloway who brought it down just over. Wow, what a catch that was. It was over Jacob Santiago, who's actually 5'9". Not an easy catch to make, but he might have used his helmet, just like David Tyree there. What a catch that was, Henry.
Amazing catch. He just went behind the defender and then just jumped up and got the ball, put it on his helmet like you said. I know the Bulldogs don't pass a lot. They are mostly a run-focused team. They hand it off to AJ Cardillo a lot, and they run it with Stephen Michelism. But it's nice to see them get a large completion passing.
Absolutely. To the other side of the field, they're starting a drive. A toss to the outside in the open field. AJ has most of his success. He'll take some yards on the toss towards the middle. So the Bulldogs looking good out of the gate. This is a thing that we've seen very much recently. 3rd down and 4th down conversions. The Metuchen Bulldogs really good in pressure situations in terms of, late downs, and they're able to convert on a very risky play and a deep ball, which ended up being converted for the 1st down. So now inside of the 30-yard line are your Metuchen Bulldogs. It's 2nd down, and 6 yards to go. Looks like Aiden O'Leary out wide. He's out left. They have Perillo once again in the backfield, who seemed to kind of transfer from wide receiver now to a running back because they want him to get the ball as much as they can. It's a run to the outside, and they must have been studying film. And he's going to be taken down. Now you know that the Middlesex Blue Jays are waiting for AJ to get the ball. They are anticipating it, and now they're ready to stop him. But there's only so much you could do, Henry.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what I found from when they faced Middlesex and beat them, or not Middlesex, when they won two games ago, 49-7, I noticed that they handed it off to a lot of different running backs. AJ Perillo got 2 touchdowns that game and about 200 rushing yards, but there were 3 other running backs who got at least 1 touchdown. So I think if they just hand it off to different running backs and use running back by committee, they could get this offense rolling.
So it's a pass out wide. It's Aiden Holloway once again. Already a big day for him. Militia with a nice find to the left, and they're going to move those chains. The Bulldogs will get the first down, and once again converting their driving, and they're going to keep this drive going, looking really good out of the gate. Now, a little bit questionable sometimes, a lot of people like to say kick the ball if you win the toss, elect to defer. They tend to elect to receive the ball, and when they do so, they score a touchdown on the opening drive. We saw that from their Spotswood game. We saw that earlier against South River in the year, so we're seeing that a lot from Metuchen. So Steven, a toss outside, AJ's going to take it away, and they're going to finally meet him. Not as much success through the run as AJ so far. They're going to definitely, though, find some ways to get him more involved into the open field, which is their goal.
Mm-hmm. They do a lot of swing passes, toss passes to the right, I notice. And normally AJ Perillo can use his speed to get past the defenders, but it looks like they keep reading it, and they keep knowing that it's going to go to AJ Perillo every time.
Definitely. So there's Stephen Mielishin, you see number 11 running right back out there, ready for the 2nd down and 7 play they have. So the blue shirts, 2 out wide. It's Aiden O'Leary, who will be with us next year as a senior, and this year graduating is Aiden Holloway. He's going to be met in the backfield, but breaks one, and he'll be finally taken down. It's a sack. What a play that was. That was Dakota Clark, and he's actually a sophomore right now who's able to get in the backfield and take him down after half of a sack. He'll be brought down. He's gonna lose 8 yards on that play, Henry.
What I noticed from Mihelishin, he actually leads his team in attempts by over 30 in rushing attempts. So I noticed as soon as he snapped the ball, he saw the pressure. His first instinct was to run it and try to get yardage scrambling rather than passing. And he tried breaking, and he broke the first tackle and tried rushing, but then the offensive line just collapsed, and he ended up getting sacked for a big loss.
Yes, and now once again in the backfield, they're giving him the pressure, but now we're seeing some mobility from Stephen Mielishin once again that has definitely progressed. As you said, he is sort of getting that second instinct to run when the play isn't there, and I think that that's a big improvement. From the past years, he hasn't been super mobile, but he certainly is mobile now, and he's definitely improving in that aspect of his game.
I notice he uses his size, like he evades the sack, and he most likely breaks the sack a lot of plays, and then once he breaks the sack, he uses his physicality and he has more mobility than a lot of players, so he can get a big gain every time he breaks the sack.
So the Bulldogs setting up. They're just about at the 25, trying a 4th down and 13. Certainly a long kick, so they're going to go for it on 4th down. Dropping back, O-line got some coverage on a second bounce, a deep throw, which is way past Aiden O'Leary. So that's going to turn over the ball, and now it's going to be Blue Jays football from their own 25, just like a touchback. They'll get the ball from the 25. After a really tough loss last week, the Blue Jays offense struggled big time. They lost the game 41-0. And it was definitely not an ideal game for them. Believe it or not, 1 passing attempt. 1. They attempted 1 pass. Everything else was run attempts. And guess what? 26 run attempts for only 91 yards. They were not getting that offense going. But rightfully so, I guess you could say, because they were playing the undefeated and unscorable against St. Thomas Aquinas, who has yet to let up a point. They outscored their players now 305-0. They still have yet to let up 1 point. So St. Thomas Aquinas is definitely one of those teams that will give you, hand you the L, and they certainly did hand Middlesex the L last week. So they're going to have first down and 5 after the penalty, and they're going to get the ball ready, as that's Stephen Metuchen playing center. He's on the, playing safety on the outside. Got their corner John Belest outside as well. Looks like a little option play. They'll toss it. This one's to Colin Khalidi.
One thing I found interesting, by the way, earlier about the last offensive drive, you were mentioning like how they always elected to receive, and every time they received, they opened with a touchdown. But I think they got too cocky on that last drive, and they tried going for it on 4th and 13 with the pass. And the passing game hasn't really worked for Metuchen, so he just overthrew his receiver. And like you said, I think this is the first time where they elected to receive, and they didn't get a touchdown. They should have just kicked the field goal.
So now we got the ball just around the 40-yard line. It's first down and a full 10 yards to go. It's a run. Power back. This one is Chris Hopf, who will get just a few yards, maybe 1 or 2 on the carry. And now we've seen some struggles in the run game from them. Just plenty of struggles from their last weeks. Middlesex, now a team that's lost 4 and won 3. And they've had some tough games. They played Roselle Park, and they beat them. They beat Boundbrook as well as Harrison. But, I mean, this is not an easy schedule, and they've probably made the best they could out of it. This is a run to the outside, and this one will be spotted maybe just shy. So it might be a 3rd down play from just about midfield. You got to expect them to go for it on 4th down if they don't convert here, because the yardage is so short, and they're definitely an aggressive play calling team. So led by Gary Brenner, their head coach. The run is powered forward. I think they're going to get the first, but there is some laundry on the field, so the flag will stop the clock at 3:36.
I think I might have saw a false start there. It ended up being a fullback dive. Got the first down, but like you said, flag flew in the air. I think I saw a false start from the lineman, so we'll see how far they go back.
So it should be 5 yards if it's what you're saying. False start would set him back 5 yards. It would set up a very manageable for Metuchen. 3rd down and 6. But they're motioning that it was, so it's an illegal shift. As the ref motions illegal shift. So once again, as I said, it's going to be spotted at a 3rd down and 6 play here, just around the 44-yard line. This is a very interesting formation here for the Blue Jays. And there was once again some movement. It looked like maybe Rocco DeGon jumped.
That was a neutral zone infraction from the nose tackle right there. Or it might have been a false start. I don't know yet. All I saw, the nose tackle moved, and then the flag flew. And then they called the play dead. So we'll see what happens.
So they're going to be, once again, back to where they were.
Yep, offsides.
3rd down and 1. Once again, motioning over to the sideline. This time, Metuchen won't jump, but they got a 3rd down and 1 in the backfield. That's Chris Hopf, who got a yard earlier from some power running, and they'll give it to him. Oh no, they'll option it, and it's a QB option, and he has the first, I think, depending on where they spot him and where they think the chains are. They're going to be stopped just at the 50. They're going to mark them for a 1st down. So a new 10 yards, a fresh set of downs now for the Middlesex Blue Jays. Up at the 50, they're going to get the offense going again. 1st down and 10. It's Hopf in the backfield again. He's a big guy. Hopf is a very quick guy, though, for someone like that, and he's been trucking his way. Like the last run, he trucked through 3 guys, and he's a good blocker as well. He's actually 6 foot 185. Wow. He's certainly young as well, so young guy with a nice future ahead of him. They're going to set up another 1st down and 10, but some communication by the refs over at half field. Looking over to the sideline, this is what they tend to do. That's head coach Gary Brenner, leading his 3-4 team a very good team, as we spoke about earlier, just had a tough schedule on their hands. It's a toss to the outside. It's A.J. West who's going to get some yardage and more. He's down the sideline. Aiden Holloway's the guy to bring him down and out of bounds. And it's a large gain there for the first down and way more. Could have fit 3 first downs in that run.
That was a good play by the O-lineman. They shifted left, and they got some nice blocks. He had to make one cut, and then he just bursted down the sideline.
So now they've moved their way, starting from the Metuchen, from their own 25, now to the Metuchen 26-yard line. They're starting to move the football very nicely. We're seeing this offense. And they're starting to figure out that Metuchen defense, who looks a little bit behind right now. Sometimes they start off the game, a little bit slow in terms of, playing their defense. But now they're looking, they're starting the same way, starting a little bit slower. But we have seen a much better Metuchen defense than we have seen in the last years past through the course of this year.
Yeah, I think that has to do with Rocco. Let me just get my sheet here. I think that has to do with Rocco Dagan. He's been leading the league leading the team in tackles, I believe. Been getting a lot of sacks. Their defense really stepped up.
Just a reminder to check out the latest episode of the MHS podcast, now available on YouTube, on the Bulldog Reports YouTube. The first edition of this year contains an interview with Principal Ed Porowski, school announcements, a school sports report, and more. So make sure to check that out. It is on this YouTube page called the Bulldog Report. Tune in. We have some fun updates, some interviews, and more on the podcast. We'll be seeing a lot more in the future on this YouTube channel. So back in action here. It's first down and 10 from the 26. It's a handoff sweep to the outside, and he's gonna be met. And as you said, it's Rocco Dagan with the tackle. They'll lose yards, and Dagan, who had himself a huge game against Highland Park 2 weeks ago, looking good here on a loss of 1. Nice tackle by him to shift and take him down. Second down 11, under 2.5 minutes to go. Still scoreless here in the Brainy Borough, as about 10 minutes have flowed off the clock. Still no one has put up any numbers on the board. So looking over to the side again, this is something that we've seen a lot. At quarterback, it is Joseph Johnson who's going to be leading his team now. Seen a lot of different sets and formations from this team. It's a run. Looks like a short yardage situation. They'll be stopped and brought down about 3 yards loss. A Metuchen pile. They knew it was coming there, and they certainly jumped on it. That was Stephen Metuchen that actually directed his team to get in there, and they brought him down for another loss. It's third down and 11.
Metuchen is a very versatile player. Not only does he lead his team in rushing attempts, passing yards, he has the quarterback, but he also leads his team in interceptions and tied for sacks, which is very impressive. One of the many great athletes on this team. All-around player.
A little jump, and they'll roll out left. This is his weak side. He's going to go again, but look at that. That's wide receiver Aiden Holloway on defense, who will bring him down.
Number 6 was wide open in the end zone.
Yeah.
If he wasn't under pressure, he could have easily.
Someone found this on the ground.
So they're going to set up a little bit of a longer play now. It's fourth down and pretty long now, and they're definitely thinking go for it. You got to be thinking that, because at this point, even if you don't make it, it's very manageable yardage. I mean, this is manageable yardage for the Bulldogs. So you have to be going for it here. If you're the Blue Jays, a punt won't do much. He's dropping back, rolling out. Wow, this is when it becomes risky. He's going to take it to his left. It's Joseph Johnson, who's into the open field. Looks like Lamar Jackson right now. And look at that. Quarterback and safety Stephen Metuchen leads the tackle to bring him down. Finally, after he was running around like Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson on that play, he'll be brought down, losing yards, and it's going to be fourth down. They won't convert the fourth down, so it's a turnover on downs. The Bulldogs will get the ball right back here with only 13 ticks to go in the first.
Stephen Metuchen I'm sorry, excuse me, Metuchen making big plays, like I said, on both sides of the ball. If not for that tackle, he could have easily gotten the first down. He slowed him down, and then the rest of his teammates piled on the quarterback. It was a good run, but you just couldn't finish it off.
So yes, he was running around like a madman in that backfield. Yep. Joseph Johnson, a pretty mobile quarterback, and he's actually a sophomore, so getting his opportunities pretty young. He's 5'9", 150. He's a real good player, so keep an eye out for him. He's actually on the defense right now, set up in the middle of the field. A rollout play action, see a lot of that in the past. It's Matt Sadovsky, who was the biggest piece of their win against Spotswood Chargers. They won that game by a good amount towards the end, but it was mostly because of Matthew Sadovsky, who really looked good all game. The 20-6 victory was a lot because him and his rushing abilities, finding the gaps, trucking through, and even receiving, blocking. He did it all in their game against the Chargers. So he's a big guy for this offense. Definitely a key aspect to their wins in the past. So back out there. 4 seconds to go. This will be our last play of the first quarter. Very evenly fought game between the Bulldogs and Middlesex. Bulldogs trying to pull off their a win on their final game at home of the year. So it's a one-man in the backfield. They're going to hand it off, and it's Antaporta who will be met for no yards. And with that, the first quarter ends. We're going to take a break. I'm Ike Bush, and this is Henry Sia from the Bulldog Report. We're back here. It's the second quarter. The Bulldogs are starting off their drive. It's 2nd down and 9 from about half field. It's still scoreless here. It's 0-0. Metuchen is tied right now. He's going to air it out down the line. AJ looking for AJ Perillo on a deep ball, which is found incomplete. It was intended for their main man, AJ Perillo.
Yep.
And it's going to set up 3rd down 9.
You know, both of these defenses have been playing very well. The Metuchen defense and the Middlesex defense, both allowing 0 points. That could have been a big completion, but Meekalism could not fit it in, and it's now 3rd down and 9.
Definitely raises the point. Is it lack of offense or a strong defense from both teams? As you said, strong defense definitely looks like the right answer so far, but there also is a little bit of a lack of offense from both sides. So now we're opening up the second quarter with 3rd down and 9 in Bulldogs territory. They're going to roll out. It's Steven. There is a flag down. He'll juke one, but maybe gain a yard or two. Definitely not enough to do the trick.
I think I saw it was holding on number 67. I might be wrong about this, but I think I saw some holding on the block. Although what I've noticed about the Metuchen offense is the Middlesex defense has been stopping the run almost every play. Like, AJ Perillo has not been able to get any good runs besides that one play. Or actually, no, that was the other team. Yeah, he has not been able to get any good runs so far. And when the Metuchen is forced to pass, they can't really do it. There's one play where number 85, Aiden Holloway, made that nice catch. But other than that, they weren't really able to get anything going.
So definitely some hints of, explosive plays we've seen so far, but not too much from the Metuchen Bulldogs, and really not from the Blue Jays either. It's been very evenly fought. Both defenses looking really, really, really good so far. So setting up, it's Steven, who's going to hit his guy, AJ Perillo. They're going to give him that open field kind of idea, but definitely not enough for the first, as the pass was completed, but it's going to set up 4th down, so they're getting ready to boot the ball out of there. That's John Balesta, who's going to run out there to punt it away. So we're seeing our first punt of the game. First punt of the game. We've seen 2 missed 4th down conversions from both sides. So far, this is our first punt, and the game is still tied at 0-0 here in the second quarter. So we're going to snap it, the long snap to Balesta. A lot of guys in the backfield. He had to get that off quickly. And it's going to get by. I'm not sure if he touched it. And Bulldogs hop on it, that's for sure. But did they make contact with it to cause a fumble? They did, they said. So Metuchen is going to get a free yardage opportunity here. They made contact with the early punt that Balesta booted. It was deflected just barely off his shoe. And it was Steven Metuchen who jumped on the ball and gave Metuchen the ball back. So count it as just a long game for Metuchen here. It's 1st down and 10.
Offense, defense, what special teams, what can't you do? Making another big play for the Bulldogs. Looks like their offense is going to go on the field. They are on around, I believe that's the 26-yard line. They could get some points on the board here. So easily.
From the 26-yard line, got to start thinking about that passing game again to to AJ Perillo or Aiden Holloway, but because the run game has just not looked super good for either team so far. So they do have Aiden O'Leary out wide and AJ Perillo in the back. They're going to give it to Perillo again, test out the run, which has not done really anything today, and he'll be stuffed again. Didn't even go down yet, but he'll be marked down for 2nd down and 10 again. So they'll redo the down, this time it's 2nd down, and Bulldogs really can't find the answer to this defense. This Middlesex defense looking pretty good so far. Middlesex, a bigger school, and they're able to, in their past, they've had a lot of good football, and their program is very solid. They beat Metuchen each of the last 5 times they played them. And by sizable amounts as well, putting up at least 28 points in each of the last 5 games, around 40 in each of the other games as well. So he'll be met on a toss. That was AJ Perillo. Really cannot find the answer to this defense at all, and that might have just pushed him even further out of field goal range. Maybe you get like a quick screen pass, get you closer, and maybe you can get a more manageable field goal with your kicker, Sean Coffey.
I honestly think that this is a true test for Meekalism, because they have been stuffing the run every play. He needs to make some big plays passing, because the rushing offense just isn't working. If he could fit in those tight window passes that he's been attempting earlier this game, they could really get some points on the board, because they have been sending all their men to go on the run. And like you said, maybe a quick screen pass would work, but this is a true test to see if Meekalism could make some big passing plays.
So he's going to roll out on the play action. He's got his guy deep. He'll air it out and higher. It's too high, a little bit too tall for his guy, Aiden Holloway.
Aiden O'Leary was actually open on the right corner. I don't think he would have been able to fit that in.
Yeah, that was going a tough on a corner. Throw. He overthrew the 6-foot Aiden Holloway, and there is a guy down. So
there's a flag on the field too. Worth noting.
So let's hope this isn't bad, but the clock does stop with 9 minutes to go. Still a 0-0 shutout from both teams. It's really a good game so far, but the injury will stop the clock. We're not sure who that is yet. Can't get an eye on who is down right now. So Metuchen now second to last in the Big Central Division right now, sitting at 2-5, just in front of Spotswood, who they beat 3 weeks ago in their win in the whiteout game, in the homecoming game, but they are frankly nowhere near that first place spot with St. Thomas, as we talked about earlier, sitting up there, and no one really is. Second place is Roselle, who is still 3 games behind St. Thomas, and Metuchen has definitely shown some signs of progression throughout the year, but last year finishing in last place, they're doing a little bit better this year at second to last place. So walking off the field.
Yep. That was Joey Lawler who got injured, number 63.
He's a freshman, and he'll be walked off the field. He looks better than he initially did, obviously, but let's hope he can get back into the game. I'm sure he will be able to return later on. So they're back out there. They'll send Cardillo off, and that looks like Antiporta on. Fourth down for Metuchen. They got 2 guys wide. It's a twin set on the right. Their 2 best receivers, Holloway and Perillo, on the right, and their third guy, Aiden O'Leary, over on the left. 2 seniors on the right, rolling out that way. It's Steven who's going to air it out for their guy, AJ.
It's AJ Perillo with the catch!
Touchdown, AJ Perillo. Wow, what a throw that was. He hit AJ, who made a contested catch, and they're going to call that a hold, I think.
Flag on the play.
There is a flag on the play, a big play. This is one of many plays this year to get called back due to flags. Metuchen has seen a lot of that. Obviously that long run from Steven earlier in the year. The touchdown to Holloway also. There's been a lot of setbacks after touchdowns for Metuchen, so it's not great. They tend to crush themselves through the penalty game, and they'll be set back again, and it's gonna be a lot longer here.
It's a huge letdown because I was saying before, I was seeing if the quarterback Middlesex, I was trying to see if he could fit in those tight window passes, and he saw Perillo down the field, and he launched it for him, and it was an amazing catch. But the penalties just bit him in the butt. Looks like they're gonna punt it now.
That's right. So they're gonna set up a punt this time. Definitely a little bit of a vibe killer or a momentum crusher on that one. They're gonna punt it away. It's John Balesta. Game remains scoreless. This one's way short, just about near Jacob Santiago. He won't pick it up, lets it bounce. It's picked up by Perillo, and here comes the Blue Jays offense. So they're back out there, have yet to score as well. At the 29-yard line, they'll set up their drive. They had a good offensive stampede almost on their first drive earlier. They made it all the way out from their 25 to the other 26 at their highest point, but ended up getting set back due to the blitzes and negative yardage through the drive. Metuchen's defense definitely started to become awake once they approached the red zone. So one out towards the left. It's a handoff and another flag down.
Wow.
Just a sloppy game on both sides, mostly by Metuchen. A lot of flags their way, and that's definitely been the case all year. Lots of flags, both sides today. So they're going to call this on Middlesex. It's going to be a false start on Middlesex.
So now it is 1st and 15. It could be managed. They could get a first down here, but it'll be a lot harder. Metuchen defense being stiff, not letting any points on the board.
First down and 15. Middlesex, get him ready. They're all look to the side. Once again, it's Gary Brenner motioning motioning his player out back, which is tend to be the case today. He sends he sends 11 in motion. There it is again. It's a run, and he'll be stopped pretty early on.
We're right at the line of scrimmage.
Second down and 14 yards to go. Maybe even 15. Might have got a yard on that play, but overall, I mean, both defenses have become a lot better throughout the course of the year. Last game, obviously, letting up 41 Middlesex, but they certainly have shown signs of progression throughout the year overall. Earlier on in the year, letting up 35 and 48. It's been a lot of Defense has been a problem, but today it's looked great. This time it'll be brought down deep in their own end. It was Colin Deem who's going to lose major yardage, and this Bulldogs defense once again through the run, stopping every single play.
He's still on the ground, it looks like. Might have been an injury on the play.
Yeah, I think he might have landed wrong there, so they're going to be sent to the sideline. Stoppage in play at 7:44. If this half ends scoreless, I would not be surprised, but if you told me that this game would have ended scoreless through halftime earlier on before the game, I would have called you crazy. I mean, both teams putting up solid points in the last weeks aside from their shutout last week, but really it's kind of boiled down to just lack of offense and strength in the defensive sides. So 3rd down and 15, but they have Colin Deem down, the senior.
Yeah, he got that one big run down the sideline. I think that was about like 20 yards, but sad to see him go down like that.
So 3rd down. Coach Guy Jensen expressing his anger towards that Metuchen defense, even after the long loss. So always something to work on for this Metuchen team, and they definitely have worked on a lot. We've seen a lot better, a lot of progression through their zone defense, which I talked about with Eddie a few weeks ago. Eddie and I discussed, their zone defense, which used to be a lot weaker and a lot more lenient, has become a lot tighter, and they've looked a lot better through the zone. And last week in their loss, it even looked good through there. I mean, they only let up 17 points in total. This defense has gone through it all, but overall, we've seen so much progression from this defense, and today they've looked really good. But with a guy down, the clock does stop at 7:44.
Finally getting up and limping to the sideline.
This one is Colin Deem, as I said earlier, but stay tuned for halftime. We'll have the halftime show. It's the Pride of Metuchen that will be playing at halftime. So make sure to stay tuned.
3rd down and 15.
So we got 3rd down and 15. Metuchen hunting for their final win at home. Maybe they can get their last home game a win. We'll see what happens. 3rd down and 15. Sending a motion. It's Jacob Platten to the outside. He's dropping back. It's a throw. Joseph Johnson threw it just shy, and it's incomplete. So 4th down and 15. There goes the punting crew. The special teams looking to boot this ball away. It's 4th down and long.
The ball was underthrown. It could have been caught, but he just threw it too low. The pressure was coming. I don't think we're giving enough credit to this D-line, like the Metuchen D-line. They are destroying their O-line. Like, they have been sending the quarterback scrambling almost every play. So his throws are a lot more inaccurate. And like you said, that one play where he was acting like Lamar Jackson, he still couldn't even get a positive gain after running all around the field.
So, nice punt. This one was a friendly bounce, and it went inside of the 40-yard line, finally scooped up. Now, to ask for Metuchen to go super far is a lot to ask for. There's a flag on the play, so we'll see who it's against. I think it's going to be against Middlesex, and it might set Metuchen forward, but it definitely is unclear at this point. Looks like the refs are discussing.
I think it might have been, I don't know what it would have been, because it was the flag was thrown around the 35-yard line. Couldn't have been an illegal block. Possibly an offsides on either team.
It was it looks like a holding. And they're going to motion them backwards. So Metuchen will lose 5. And it's going to be 1st down and 10 from, I think, inside the 40-yard line. Still unclear, I'm sorry guys, but as soon as we find out, we'll let you know. But definitely Metuchen does get the ball from inside of the 40 at least. Metuchen's schedule coming up it's not easy. They only have one game left, and it's not going to be an easy way out. They've played some tough teams. They've lost those games, and they had to play a pretty solid team in Arthur L. Johnson last week, and they were unable to win. It was such a heartbreaker. After the missed extra point from Sean Coffey, only got them 13, and then they couldn't score in the last minute. But, you know, that was a winnable game, but now they're looking for another winnable game, but this time maybe they'll pull out the win. Dropping back, it's Metuchen to the outside. Perillo cuts and goes down the sideline, and he's down the sideline. A.J. Perillo, look at him go. Kiss that guy goodbye. Touchdown, Metuchen.
Pass complete to A.J. Perillo for a Bulldog.
Wow.
Touchdown.
That was an amazing play by A.J. Perillo. He got open on the flat, and then he broke a tackle, and then he just used that speed to outrun every single defender for a touchdown.
Wow, he looked super
What an amazing player.
Looked super good there. No flags on the play. They'll hit the extra point to try to make this a 7-point game. And there's the first points on the board. It was AJ who juked a guy, and he was off to the races down the sideline all the way for a Metuchen touchdown. So it's 6-0 Bulldogs. It's Sean Coffey attempting his first kick of the day. It's the extra point. We'll see what he could do with the point after.
Oh!
And the kick will be stopped, and it will be still a 6-0 game. Just over 7 to go.
Middlesex nothing.
If you're interested in joining the media club, please contact the club president, Ben Solaski. If you'd like to join the MHS podcast, talk to advisor Eddie Kalecki or president Itai Geller. Both clubs are working in conjunction for today's football game broadcast and every broadcast for this season. So if you're interested, please speak to either Ben Solaski, Ed Kalecki, or Itai Geller for more information about how to join. So still a 6-0 game. There are some points up on the board now, finally, and so much for that great defense that we were talking about earlier. Blue Jays were totally unable to guard AJ after he juked one, and that speed, it gives him so much. Down the sideline, he was able to get him for 6.
Yep. And like I said before, he has that big body, like the athleticism, which let him juke the guy out and break the tackle and still stay in bounds. He is most definitely like one of their best players, for sure. He's leading them in rushing yards, and I'm pretty sure he's their lead receiver too. So great player all around, and can even play on defense. He has 32 solo tackles. Just an amazing player overall.
So the kick is off, and that is good news. That is Colin Deem, who will take the return, who just went down earlier. So it's good to see him back up on the field. He'll be back for the remainder of the game, let's hope. So up to the 35-yard line, they'll get their drive started with under 7 minutes to go. Second quarter's gone a lot slower than the first quarter did, with all the penalties and such. We've seen a lot of difference between the first quarter in terms of time and the second quarter, but we're almost towards halftime, so it's going by quickly overall, and we're only 44 minutes into the game. Motioning over to the side, out wide, you see Chris Hopf, who we've seen run the ball a few times as a fullback, and we've seen a lot from Hopf. Balesta on the guard for him. It's a run, a nice one over the middle, and that one right there was Justin Robinson, the senior.
Ball carried by Robinson.
Good play. He has... I haven't seen much of him, but he has a big body. He could just power through those defenders. I believe that was an 8-yard gain. Good play. Good running back.
So 2 out wide, and there's 2 in the backfield. It's a run. It's right back to Robinson, who will push his way forward for the first down.
Oh.
Ball pops loose. He'll jump on it, and they'll get the ball back. They cannot afford another turnover after that costly fumble from earlier. They definitely cannot afford to lose the ball again. So running off, that's Luke Cadilla. Swapping out. John Balesta out wide, guarding Hopf. and he's giving him a lot of space. He knows that Ballesta is super speedy, and he'll be able to catch up to him if he ran a streak or something along those lines. It's a run to the outside. As you said earlier, this is a pretty, running back by committee team. We've seen a lot of rushers from this team, and last week they split it. They split it entirely between 5 different players in 26 attempts. It was Colin Deem, who we've seen a lot today. Stephen Young, haven't seen much from him. Chris Hopp, who we've seen a lot as well. Robert Rouse and AJ West, who had the nice run earlier down the sideline. So 5 different rushers total from them in their last week's loss to St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yep, like the running back by committee approach works because they have a lot of good running backs in their backfield, like you said, who just recently went down with an injury, Colin Deem. They have a lot of just different running backs, including their quarterback, Stephen Young. Like, they have a lot of different ways to run the football and just generate a lot of offensive yards. But they haven't been able to do much of that this game, considering Metuchen's defense.
So under 6 minutes to go. They're on a drive right now, and they're inside of the 40-yard line. So typically, you'll see Metuchen probably get the ball one more time before halftime, but we'll see how much clock burning they do. So setting him in motion is Deem. It's a run over the middle. Robinson again. They've liked him a lot on this drive, but he'll initially get some nice yardage. Ball pops loose, but they're definitely going to blow this one dead. He was definitely down there first, but we've seen a lot from Deem. We've seen some motioning from him. They're definitely an unpredictable offense, but not much success. They have a nice drive going right now, consistently getting solid yardage, but not what you want. You want that spark. You want that long play, which Metuchen had just got. That long, A.J. Perillo kind of long touchdown that we just saw from Metuchen. They need that spark to get them going into the next half. It's a run again. And it's Robinson who will be set down, and they're going to give him the first down. So moving the chains once again. They're getting consistent and slow yardage, and the clock continues to click. So it's going to be first down, 10 yards to go.
A lot of motion on their runs. When they motion a guy, it normally means they're going to run it. Like, see right there? It looks like the play has been called dead. But they hand it off to their running back right after motioning a player in the backfield. So that's a good little hint that the Metuchen defense can pick up on, which is probably why they're stopping the run. But their running back, number 35, Justin Robinson, is just really good at breaking tackles and getting a solid gain. So false start on Middlesex. That's going to bring them back to 1st and 15.
So it's a false start on Middlesex, as you said. It's Stephen Young who will lead his team for first down, 15 to go. So that's definitely a killer there after having a nice drive and having a nice 4 downs and being able to convert the first. Now they're set back 5 more, almost where they were last play. But this time it's 1st and long, so they got to get the offense going again, get that consistent yardage that they had last time out. So looking over to the side, they have their idea. It's Stephen Young, who's been good through the air and through the run. Definitely a lot of success through the run for him, and really we've seen aspects of, as I said, Lamar Jackson through his cuts. Fake handoff, and they have some pressure in the backfield. He's going to move away. What a play that was. Senses the pressure, gets out, and hits his guy on the sideline. It's a first down, and the Blue Jays are driving. That one was completed to A.J. West, who's been a factor of all of their nice plays today. Definitely a guy you got to keep an eye out for. A.J. West, number 23. He's definitely a quick guy, and he definitely gets open. So it's first down and 10. They're at the 15-yard line. It's Stephen Young signaling to both sides. That was one of the first passes we've seen in a few plays. Here's a run over the middle. Robinson will be met.
That was an amazing play earlier. You see Young just avoid the pressure and then throw it to a wide open A.J. West. And then A.J. West got like a 5 or 10 yard gain after the catch. Just a big play that they might have needed to generate offensive momentum. They might be able to get a touchdown, might not. We'll see what happens. But unless they can make another big play, they might have to get a field goal. 2nd and 8.
So we'll see what they could do. Remember, a field goal splits the lead in half. It's only a 6-point lead after the missed extra point. He's going to run it, and a nice run this time from Robinson. We've seen a lot of it. We've seen a lot of Robinson on this drive, and he's looking even better and better on each play.
We've also seen a lot of fumbles from Robinson. I saw that the ball almost came out when he fell. Very close call, but they never lost the ball from a fumble, but he has fumbled multiple times, so that's just something to look out for. So let's just hope he doesn't fumble the game away, or fumble the drive away, because if he does, they will have a lot harder of a chance of winning, because if they don't get this touchdown right here, I mean, they are receiving it at half, but it would still be really hard to come back from that.
Run over the middle was Robinson. I think he's marked just shy of the end zone, but it is a first down, so it's first down and goal for them. Robinson last week rushed, did not get many rushes. He actually got no rushes, Robinson, last week. So they're incorporating him this time into the scheme a lot more. I've really just this drive a lot from him. So expect the run over the middle from them this time, and it looks like he may have jumped. I think it's a false start.
Oh, no.
So that might set him back. It will. False start on the Middlesex Blue Jays will make it a first down and 6 goal. So remember, a touchdown makes it a tie game, but the extra point, which is typically hit from this kicker, will make it a 7-6 lead. So a touchdown is really it's really a matter of who's winning here on this play.
Mm-hmm.
So they definitely don't want to settle for that field goal going into halftime. You want the lead. You want to be winning by 1 or whatever you could take at this point. It's really a good game from both sides, but Touch's defense looking to hold strong deep in their own end.
It is. It looks like Middlesex just called the timeout here, probably trying to discuss how they could get the touchdown, but I think if they just punch it in with Robinson, they could get a touchdown here. Just has to be safe with the ball, make sure not to fumble it, and if the kicker can make the kick, then Middlesex gets the lead and the ball at half. So very important drive here.
So remember, at 2 o'clock, the Metuchen girls soccer team will play in the semifinals game against North Brunswick of the GMC tournament. So definitely something you might want to tune into. We won't be covering it, but if you want to go to the Metuchen High School on the backfield, they'll be playing North Brunswick, looking to advance to the finals, which will be played on Wednesday. A big game for Metuchen. They beat North Brunswick 5-0 last time, but it's a whole new game. We'll see if they can pull out the win. The girls soccer have had a great undefeated season so far. So we're back in action. They're deep in the zone. It's first down and 6 yards to go until the end zone. So that's John Balesta out there covering Chris Hopf again. So they'll send him in motion. It's a run. It's Robinson. Didn't get it, but I think they're right there. They might be right near the end zone, and they're just sniffing the lead right now. Calling a quick offense here. It's a run to Robinson. He's going to plow his way. They're going to push him forward, and touchdown! Blue Jays tie the game. It's 6-6. They're an extra point away from taking the lead, Henry.
Yep. That was a great drive. They mostly focused on the run, minus that one big play by Johnson and West. That was a good connection there. But if they could kick this extra point, like I said, they're getting the ball at half, and they're also getting the lead. So if they could score on their opening possession from the second half, that'd be really important. The kick is good.
So that was Nick Gould who nailed the extra point, and now Middlesex is leading. So not a shutout, but points are limited here in the first half. It's 7-6. Metuchen looked to get one last drive. That was a long, long drive there by Middlesex. they were chipping away, and you gotta enjoy that if you're, if you're a coach, especially their coach right now. Gary Brenner definitely likes what he saw, because considering they chipped off a lot of clock, Metuchen now has to run a quick offense and panic with. Now they're not winning anymore, so they're going to have to run a high-pressure situation before halftime, and now they have the lead and momentum just heading in towards the half, but they have to lock it down on defense, because with the explosiveness that people like A.J. Perillo on this offense have, you really, really never know what you're going to see next. So we'll see a kickoff, and this is Nick Gould, who's going to kick it away after knocking that extra point right through the uprights. Still a 7-6 game. Middlesex leads right now. So you got Holloway and Perillo looking to receive the kick. They're all bunched up, but they're about to spread out.
And we'll see if Mealism can actually, or not actually, but can lead his team to at least a field goal in the 2-minute drill. There's 2:11 on the clock right now. If he could pass it and lead his offense 2 points, that would be very impressive, and they could get the lead too.
So
looks like
Holloway got the ball, but his left knee went down as he took it. So that's definitely not what you want to see. I mean, we're playing college rules as opposed to, NFL rules. In the NFL, obviously when you go down, if you're touched on the ground, that's when you're considered down. But in college, if you make a diving catch and you end up on the ground but no one touches you, it doesn't matter. You're still technically down. So that's what we're playing right now. So first down and 10. They're around the 15-yard line. The Bulldogs need to get this offense going. At the least, they want a field goal, and they want this lead back badly in front of the home crowd. So 2 out to his right. It's Stephen Mealism. It's John Valesta lining up as a wide receiver with A.J. Perillo towards the left on a twin set. 4 out wide. It's a motion. A jet sweep to Perillo. He cuts towards the middle. He's moving forward. Got some nice yardage, but with 2 minutes to go, what is considered nice yardage? I mean, you need some big chunks of yardage. They do have some timeouts to go. Or actually, excuse me, they don't have any timeouts to go. The Blue Jays do have 3 to go, though. So it's 2nd down and 3. You definitely don't want to, set up a 4th down try with the clock stopped, and you don't want to give the Blue Jays the ball back at all. Deep ball, it's hurled up. It's going to be down. It was not a great throw, not a great read either. He was double covered, Perillo, and he was covered by both Colin Deeb and he was covered by Dom Parenti. So it was a very risky throw towards the sideline, and I'm very, very surprised that one wasn't intercepted.
Yeah, I feel like they're too reliant on A.J. Perillo for their offense, because they have some other good players that are receivers, such as Aiden Holloway, but other than that, on offense, they don't have really any skill position weapons. A.J. Perillo can be used in multiple ways, such as a receiver, and I think that A.J. Perillo was his first read, and he knew he needed to get some points, so he just chucked it up to him.
Interesting zone pass here. They're going to move him deep. That's Holloway. That's going to be instructed to go even deeper, and he's going to roll out to the outside. I think he was marked shy of the first, but it's going to be 4th down, and the Bulldogs now have a 4th and real short to go. About a yard to go. I think they're going to go for it.
Yep.
Really risky play here. This is typically the time they run out someone like they run out someone like Antaporta to just kind of truck his way, power his way for the first down. As I noted earlier, Middlesex does have their 3 timeouts remaining. So if they don't convert this, Middlesex has a lot of control over where the ball, what they'll do with the ball here. So it is Antaporta in the backfield. They'll do the little QB sneak that they love, and it's Mealism who will rush for the first down.
Enough for a Bulldog first down.
Risky play. If they didn't convert,
Clock
they'd be
is
kissing the red zone, and that would definitely not be ideal for them. But 34 seconds to go. Maybe they're just laying back a little bit here, but they might also take some deep shots. We'll see. It's Perillo running deep. They're going to throw it that way.
Open.
Perillo hauls it in. Adios. Say goodbye. He's in. Give him 6 more.
Complete to number 5, A.J. Perillo.
Well, Oh,
Yes.
that was a really interesting play. They had their safety move forward. Their deep safety went forward. It looked like he was expecting a run, and he found AJ Perillo wide open. I mean, wide open around midfield, and he was done in the open field. Good luck chasing him.
Very
He gets in.
Very underrated throw by Mikolism too. He could have just thrown it straight to him as he was wide open, but he got him in perfectly in stride, and AJ just used his speed, outran all the defenders. He's the focal point of this offense. I don't know why they brought the safety forward, but he always needs to be double covered because you can't just put a man on him and be done with him.
So obviously they're gonna try for 2 here. They're gonna look for that 7-point lead that they'll try to make up for their missed extra point earlier, and this will give them a 7-point lead. Now, definitely expect something like a little toss to AJ, maybe a little run over the middle by Steven. A lot of things they could do here deep in the zone, but with this run defense, I don't know if you go to the run. We'll see what they do though. So to his right, to the right of Steven, that is Matthew Sadovsky, who's really good with the run, and they're gonna call timeout, which will stop the clock and give them some more time to assess what they'll do. So a big play here. They want to make sure they have everything down. The Bulldogs off to the side with Guy Jensen, and they need this. They need these two. That's for sure. If they can get this 2-point conversion, they'll be up by a touchdown. Yeah, they'll be kicking the ball off, but they have that momentum. They have that, momentum that they need to go into the second half. That they certainly need in order to win this game. So, still a 5-point lead right now. Looking to punch in 2. It was a false start, a delay of game, which will set them 5 yards back.
This is a very important play right here. It looks like they're gonna
fake toss towards the corner. That's Aiden Holloway. He's doubled, and this throw was out of bounds. So, harsh play there for them. They went with a play action and threw it into the opposite corner of the end zone. And it's incomplete. So it's 12-7. We stay here on the Bulldog Report. 15 ticks to go in the first half.
Steven he couldn't fit it in. Like, he tried throwing it to the sideline, but it was way too out of bounds. Aiden almost made the catch, but he just couldn't keep his feet in. It was too far out. They still have a 5-point lead. It's not that bad, but if Middlesex gets the touchdown on the next drive, they'll be in trouble. See how the kickoff goes.
So 15 seconds to go. Maybe they'll be aggressive. Maybe they'll be conservative here. We'll see what the Blue Jays do with this power now. So it's Sean Coffey looking to kick this ball away. Steps to his left twice, and he's going to boot this away. Nice kick this time, and it's going to be hauled in. He's going to run and break through. A really nice return there, and they'll get just about to midfield, but they're just half the clock float away, so they have 8 seconds to go. Maybe they could do a quick play. They could try to run a quick play, maybe get out of bounds, and then have time for a late field goal, but I highly doubt that that's going to be the case because of how much yardage they need, to get into field goal range, and that would be tough because they need, a longer play, and as a result, it'll take a little longer up on the clock. So they'll probably just do one more deep shot or a little bit of a screen pass or run just to kind of burn away the clock. We'll see, but they certainly want some points if they could get it. Not going to be an easy thing to do, though. One guy out right. It's a motion. Fake run on the play action. And wow, it's
under
him.
Pressure.
He's going to be scrambling out. It's a throw deflected off of the arms of Justin Robinson, I believe. It went incomplete, and that will take us to the end of the first half. So it's a Metuchen lead, 12-7. Now, they've been leading at half on plenty of games in the past. They were leading at half for the Spotswood game. They were leading at half for the Highland Park game. They were even leading at half last week in their loss. 13-3 they were leading. So they definitely have some good, some good offense out of the gate. They're leading now by just 5, so it's definitely not a secure lead, Henry.
Yeah, they can definitely win this. This is a winnable game for them, but if their defense can let a touchdown happen for Middlesex, then it'll be 14-12. Then Metuchen has the ball back. They could kick a field goal to regain the lead, but I don't know. Middlesex has a really good chance of winning this, so does Metuchen. It could go both ways.
Welcome the Metuchen High School cheerleaders.
AJ Perillo had himself a big half. We're going to be joined, I'm going to be joined again by Henry Sia in the second half. When we return, I'm Mike Bush here with Henry Sia.
Thank you.
everybody? We are back. I am Ike Bush here with Henry Sia.
Hello.
We're ready for some second half football from the Brainy Borough. Metuchen Bulldogs looking to hold their very slim lead right now over the Middlesex Blue Jays. Now, I'm going to remind you guys that girls soccer game is currently happening just behind us right now. And the score update right now is it is currently 1-1. So it is a tie game right now towards the end of the first half. It's about to be halftime. Still a 1-1 game. So make sure you guys get over to the Metuchen High School to watch both the football game and the girls soccer game. But for now, we are back in business. The Blue Jays will get the ball to start off the second half, and the Bulldogs will be kicking it away with Sean Coffey. What did you like that you saw from the first stages of this one, Henry?
Well, what I liked is Middlesex was making some pretty good throws in the first half, in the first quarter, and then the second quarter it was all Perillo. Like, he was just good the entire game. He had 2 receiving touchdowns, one with short air yards, one with long. Without him, this would be a 0-7 game. Both tremendously big plays. The Metuchen defense has been holding up terrifically, and they're about to kick off to Middlesex. If the Metuchen defense can hold in the second half, then they will have a really good shot at winning this game.
Well, this kick turns out to be a beautiful one. It stops at the 1-yard line. That was Sean Coffey with a beautiful kick, and it's Aiden Holloway who brings him down. Wow, they're pinned at the 5-yard line. That's something you almost never see. I mean, that's one of the better kicks I've ever seen. It just kept on rolling, got some friendly bounces, and now they're going to have to start their drive early in their zone. So they're trailing by 5. Remember, touchdown gives them a lead, and if they end up getting in the end zone, expect them to go for 2 to bring them up by a field goal. Now the points, everything's kind of messed up because of both missed extra points by the Bulldogs. So it's a 12-7 game. They're back out there, and it's the Blue Jays ball. We're back underway here from the second half. So handoff over the middle. There's Robinson, a familiar sight today.
You know, people always say that kickers are the forgotten position, but when they make plays like that, where they get the guy down at the 5-yard line, that makes a huge difference from somebody getting down at the 25-yard line, because they have to go such a long way, and it takes such a long time for them to get to the end zone, or they'll most likely have to punt it off.
It's an option play. He's going to get the run and a first down. This one was Stephen Young. Stephen Young looking super good in the first half. He showed off his rushing ability, his ability to, sense pressure and get out of the pocket, and he's been very, very good and patient in the backfield as well, Stephen Young. So this is a run over the middle. Robinson's going to fight his way forward. Remember, Robinson is a really strong guy. He's super strong. He's able to power his way for a few yards, but we haven't seen more than just a few yards from Robinson. You see a lot of runs over the middle with Robinson. He's not super speedy, but they give it to him over the middle, and he does the job and gets a few yards. So it's a consistent amount of yards for Robinson. Again, we'll give it to him, and actually he'll be met down just shy of the first down. So now we got 3rd down and 2 yards to go.
3rd down and 2.
Wait. Oh, the scoreboard was wrong, but they have been handing it off to Robinson a lot. And there goes Stephen Young again. And a big run.
Stephen Young breaking tackles and fighting himself up to the 45-yard line. Look at that. We saw some holding. It looked almost like it was a holding. He grabbed his shirt, and maybe not, because he may have made initial contact and just held on to the shirt, but it looked certainly like a holding to me. They'll fight his way up to the 45-yard line at the other side of the field. It's 1st down and 10 to go. Metuchen looked like they had to stop initially. This is a throw down the sideline. No one is there for him. Wow, what a play. It's a touchdown. Chris Hopf.
That was an amazing, it wasn't even an amazing play. It was just complete blown coverage. No one was guarding him. He just had to loft up a nice pass to Robinson, or Hoff, and then he basically could have just walked in for the touchdown. Throw could have been better, but it doesn't matter because no one was even near him. Amazing play.
It was definitely just a blown cover. It looked like John Blesso was supposed to be over there and missed his assignment. They're going to go for the extra point, make this a 2-point lead. A little surprising to me. Thought they'd probably try to get up by 3, and they'll knock this one through. Splits the uprights. They lead by 2. It's 14-12.
With 9:43 left in the third quarter, the score.
A lot of time to go, though. The Bulldogs will get the ball back, and Coach Guy Jensen is not satisfied right now in his sophomore quarterback, John Balesta.
Yeah, that wasn't really an amazing play. It was just, like I said, blown coverage. No one was near him. I don't know what the defense was doing, but Metuchen has the ball back. If they get a field goal here, they could retake the lead, but it's not looking good. It's going to be a very close game, unless something completely turns around.
It is certainly going to be a close game. In other news, in Metuchen cross country, the GMC tournament, Molly Malay got first place, and Caroline Schleif got second in the GMC. So Metuchen cross country, as always, on top. So really good there from the Bulldogs on all sides of different sports. So it's a 14-12 game now. Each teams have respectively 2 touchdowns, but the difference has been extra points, and Metuchen missed their extra point. It was blocked earlier, and then they couldn't get in for 2 to make up for it. So it's still a 14-12 game now. They're ready to boot it off. It's now going to be Nick Gould looking to find the similar luck that Sean Coffey did on the bounce. This is a deep kick, a nice one. And that one looks like it's Holloway will take it out. He finds some gaps. He'll spin his way around, and he's going to get to the 30, maybe the 38-yard line.
Again, like you were saying before, since they missed the extra point, that forced them to go for 2 after they got their second touchdown. Special teams plays and kickers, they really do matter in the end, because now they have pressure because they're down, so they need to get a lead. But if they made those 2 extra points, it would have been 14-14, and there wouldn't have been as much pressure. So, special teams do matter.
So you see the student section and the cheerleaders cheering on their Bulldogs. We're now trailing in this game. Solid student section today, not as big as we've seen recently in the past from their home games, especially from that Spotswood, their last home game, but pretty solid though, for sure. So we got a 14-12 game. They're going to get the ball and start their second half offensively now. So Stephen Milishin will hand this one off. It's Antaporta who gets one of his first runs. We haven't seen him get the ball too much, and actually he only got the ball 5 times. He only got the rock 5 times, 34 yards on 5 attempts last week. So limited ball action for Andrew Antaporta. They found a lot of solutions using guys like AJ Perillo and otherwise. So they've really been good with the pass today, finding 2 big plays for AJ Perillo to get into the end zone too. So once again, AJ is out wide to the left. It's Antaporta in the backfield and Holloway in the slot. They'll hit, and they'll hit him, and that's AJ Perillo. Once again, the cut that worked so well earlier. He'll be brought down after stiff arming, and he'll get away to the other side of the field, out of bounds. It's a Bulldog first down.
AJ Perillo just has so much athleticism. He has speed, he has power, he could muscle guys off of him. And if you get the ball to him with open field, he will always get a big gain. So, good play call right there.
Yeah, what I like about him is he just fights to get that yardage always. He'll do whatever he can to get that, that extra yard, which is really favorable for a guy like him. A run, bounces away to the outside. This is one of his bigger gains. This is Antaporta. Maybe he's either a counter run or he just found better success in moving to the left side of the field. But nonetheless, it's a Bulldog first down on back-to-back plays, consecutive plays with a first down. So they're driving to the other 40-yard line. They're now at the 38. Stephen Milishin will get the play and get right back out there.
Either way, even if it was a counter or it was just a cut, either way, that was amazing blocking by the O-line, bringing a huge hole for number 22, Antaporta, to just run free and get a first down. Wide open gap. Great play.
And they do it This is they're gonna fake toss and hand this off. It looks like Sadovsky. They do it again. We saw a lot of that from Spotswood, from their game against Spotswood, and Sadovsky will give them their third consecutive first down in 3 plays. This Metuchen Bulldog offense is really on fire right now, and it's better than we've seen it for a long time. Right now in this game, we haven't seen it look this good, and right now it's looking great. They're getting big chunks, and they're calling smart plays, making good reads, and overall looking really good. So under 8 minutes to go in the third quarter, still a lot of football to be played in this one.
The reason why I think their offense is doing better this half, coaching. They've made some great calls, getting it to Perillo in the open field, getting like a nice counter play. And now the fake handoff with the jet sweep, that was really good. Just good coaching all around by Guy Jensen.
They're going to call their first timeout. And the Bulldogs are going to get ready to try to make it 5 consecutive first down, or another consecutive first down. They're just looking really good right now on offense. Their defense, not so much after that blown coverage touchdown, but as I said earlier, lots of football to go. If they can get in for 6, that will change major momentum in this game. And with a student section like this, it really could change a lot. So just a beautiful Saturday evening, starting to get that fall weather in again, as it's pretty chilly out here today. And the Bulldogs looking to win their final home game of the year. So it's Stephen Metuchen and the offense back out there. Perillo in the backfield, 2 out to the right. It's a twin set, and on the left, it's Aiden O'Leary. Here's Stephen. He'll hand this one off. It's to AJ, and AJ stiff arms and fights again for the first down.
One thing to mention, AJ didn't even fall down when he got out of bounds. He stayed up. He has the physicality that a running back needs, but he also has like the elusiveness. He has the speed. He has the muscle. Like, he is a major asset on this team.
Yeah, even as a wide receiver, he's got some running back traits in him, and that's why they've been putting him at running back. He's got all the traits, to be honest. Looking really good all over the field, and especially in the open field. It's a run this time to their primary running back. It's Antiporta who will be met, and no gain, if not a loss. So it's going to be third down. Now you could consider them in field goal range, you would think. It would be a rather long field goal in high school terms for Sean Coffey, but I think that in this short yardage situation, if they don't make this, they're probably going to go for it, considering how aggressive and smart and tactical Guy Jensen has been. And they're going to try to do the sneak, and Metuchen will fight forward maybe a yard. And yes, they will have that 4th down opportunity here, so big decision here. What do you think they'll do, Henry?
Honestly, I think they'll be aggressive. Their offense has been good so far. I think they're going to go for it. 4th and 3, that's manageable. If they just give it to Perillo or they hand it off, they could easily get 3 yards. But if they don't, that'll be a huge turning point. So we'll see what happens, see what the coaches do.
So you're right. It is going to be the Metuchen offense right back out there. They're going to try to go for it on 4th and 3. This is not an easy thing to do. They need to make it out to the Middlesex 18-yard line. It's going to be a tough thing to do, but with this offense, you never know. So they have Perillo in the backfield, a run defense that's very good so far today. It's a run to Perillo, and he fights forward. We'll see if they mark him short. He is going to be, I think they're going to give it to him. They're going to give him the first down. AJ Perillo around the outside.
Ref still deciding.
Actually still unclear.
And it's going to be a timeout.
So clock stops at 5:20 to go. Nonetheless, still a nice run from Perillo. He was able to fight off one of the guys that initially met him and fight away to now make it a very questionable call here. They're going to measure him. We're going to measure up the ball here. So 5:20 to go in the third, and the linesmen come right out there to measure and see precisely where the ball lands in.
I think that's going to be short.
Down.
I don't think he got there. Maybe inches. We'll see what happens, but yeah, that's not it. That's short.
Turnover on downs.
It is just short. That was really close. Remember, any portion of the ball has to be touching the first down. So even if the tip of it is, that will be a first down, and no part of it was. It was just about half an inch away from the first down. So now they got to send their defense out there with, and now Middlesex got their offense out there with the lead. They've got some momentum now after a big stop in their own end. We'll see what they can do with the football here. It's Stephen Young's offense out there. They have a 2-point lead right now.
That was a huge play by Middlesex. That might have been the turning point in the game. Because if Metuchen managed to get that conversion, they could have gotten the touchdown. Would have been about maybe like 19-14, and they would have gotten the lead. But now Middlesex has the lead, and they have the ball. So very bad for Metuchen, very good for Middlesex.
And it's a run over the middle. Just about a yard or two. Familiar sight by Robinson, just to get a few yards on the run, but not too many. It's been very consistent. If you're Robinson, number 35's been fighting forward for a few yards, but not too many, Henry.
Yeah, I mean Robinson, almost all of his runs have been like that. He fights for the yards, but he gets like a middle amount of it, like a minuscule, like maybe like 4 or 5 yards. But they seem to be figuring him out. There is also an injury on the field. Or not, never mind. I thought I saw him down for a sec. But was a tiny bit slow to get up. I think he's limping. We'll see what happens.
Just a quick girls soccer update. North Brunswick just scored. They now lead 2-1 in the girls soccer game. So Metuchen trails now by 1. Don't doubt they could win this, though. They are a great team. So we'll see if they can continue their undefeated streak. Here's a run over the middle, and he's going to be shy of the first down. It's going to be 4th down.
Robinson just limped off the field a couple seconds ago. I don't know if he is injured or if he might come back later. But he's been their main running back, so it would be a big hit if he did come out. We'll see what happens on 4th down. They're gonna go for it.
They're getting ready to, I think they're ready to punt it. It's Perillo back there, and it's a fake. They're gonna throw it to the outside of him, and it's hauled in. They say it's a catch.
It's a catch.
What a catch that was by AJ West once again, leaving dents in wherever he steps, and he's been super good today. Just overall, he had that nice run earlier. He had a really good catch earlier. He's just been big. He's been a big factor of the big yardage plays that they've gotten today. So it's 1st down and 10. They'll keep the drive going after the fake punt conversion. It's a toss to the outside, and
oh no!
They're gonna call a flag.
Flag.
It's against the offense. It's gonna set him back. Excuse me, timeout. On Middlesex. So that will be their first of 3 on the half.
They both now have 2 timeouts left. That might factor in later in the game if the score does become really close. But it is 1st and 10 for Middlesex. Things are looking up for them. So we'll see if Metuchen can make a good defensive stop, get the ball back, get the lead, and get their 3rd win of the season. Because this is a manageable win for Metuchen. It's like I said before, it's going to be very close. I don't know who's going to come out on top. It really depends on how well the defense does.
Right, so they got the ball at the 31-yard line, and they're starting off a pretty nice drive. Got some momentum from that fake punt they converted on earlier, but it's not going to be it's not going to come easy for them, and it hasn't so far this game. Balesta back into coverage. They're going to send West in motion. It's to the outside. It's a run. It's going to be down the line. What a run this was by Colin Deem.
That was an amazing fake handoff. Like, that was amazing by the quarterback, Stephen Young. He even fooled me. I thought he was passing it or tossing it to the left, but it ended up being a nice run by A.J. West. Good coaching, good handoff, an amazing run by A.J. West. Everything that factored into that play was perfect.
That was actually Colin Dean, but yes, it was a great run. Colin Dean with a solid run. Here's the run over the middle, and they're going back to the run game, which you've seen a lot today. I haven't seen much of the passing game. In fact, when they did pass, they've seen a lot of pressure in the backfield from Rocco Dagon and such, but there is a man down now after the running play, and
a lot of injuries.
The clock with just above 3 minutes to go. So the ball's up on the 47 when we come back.
Can't really see who that is. We'll get back to that in a moment, but looks pretty bad. Still on the ground. Coach displeased about how many of his players have gotten injured. I believe that's the third player who's gotten injured on the ground. Fourth if you count Justin Robinson, who limped off the field earlier, but he seems fine now. Still on the ground, not looking good.
So it's the third quarter. Bulldogs lead 14-12. Just over 3 minutes to go in the third quarter, but they have 12 minutes of football in the fourth. Just about 15 minutes left of hard football between both well-fought teams and very even teams we've discovered today. First few stages of this one, it was rather defensive, and now it looks very offensive. We've seen sparks from the offense on both teams, and getting up have
Joey Lawler,
who is now injured for the second time today. Just gotta hope it's not on the same, it's not the same problem, because you don't want consecutive injuries in a similar spot. That, of course, can build up. But he's sitting up. He looks okay, but maybe walking could be an issue.
Yeah, I think he might have re-injured the same spot. I would sit him for the rest of the game, but at least he could walk on his own. That's a good sign.
So we're going to get back out there, going to get the third quarter continuing, and Metuchen's defense needs to find an answer here, because a touchdown will make this a two-possession game. It will likely make this one a two-possession game. A touchdown will probably make it a lot harder for the Bulldogs. So if they could at least hold them to a field goal, that would be great, but definitely want a defensive stop, and they want the offense to come out scoreless here. So there's the offense sending in motion. It's a run, and it's Robinson, and he's going to be met, but finally fighting forward. He has yet to go down, and he still has yet to go down. He finally goes down, but Robinson showing off his crazy strength that he has, and he finally is met and brought down after a solid gain. It's 3rd down and 1. So once again, high pressure situation and late down situation for the Middlesex Blue Jays. They need to convert here, or else it'll be a 4th down play.
This is going to be a run to Robinson, I believe. Yep, there it is.
And it's Young who hands it off, and it's Robinson who gets the 1st down. So the chains move once again. This is the type of thing we saw earlier in the first half. We saw a lot of steady progression through the run by this team, a lot of slow yardage through the run, which really takes a lot of clock off the, a lot of clock. So that just kind of gives you the idea that they're controlling this game. They go at their pace. They get to control this game at their pace, which is certainly something you want to have in a football game. Majority of games are won by the team that has the ball for the longest. It's a run. It's a cut. Over the middle, it's Stephen Young, the quarterback.
Oh, wow.
The shifty, quick quarterback. There's a flag down, but he's going to get in for a touchdown.
I think this might be another big play called back from holding, sadly.
Well, no signal yet, but Henry thinks it's unfortunately a hold, but I didn't see a hold. It was around the outside, a quick run. He's really speedy. He outran 3 Metuchen players. And
one of them signaled touchdown.
It's going to be a block in the back by Middlesex, so it's going to set them back. on Metuchen. Okay, so the block in the back was on Metuchen. They're going to get the touchdown. They are going to decline the penalty, and it's going to be 6 more points. So it's a touchdown for Middlesex, and they're establishing this lead well right now. It's an 8-point game. It was a block in the back on Metuchen, we believe, and now they got an 8-point lead, which this could make it a 2-possession game if they convert this extra point.
Stephen Young, like, that was an amazing run. He made a cut, and then he was off. His speed, he's a senior, 5'9", 170 pounds. He just used that speed and outran everybody. A nice stiff arm on the way, and just an amazing play overall, using his running ability.
So after the long touchdown, the penalty will be enforced on the kickoff, 15 yards forward. So that's definitely big in high school football. 15 yards means a lot. It's about half of most of the kicks, which is, it's definitely a big factor. So 15 yards enforced on the kickoff. They'll be kicking from half field, which will mean a lot here in the third quarter. It's now a 2-possession game after Metuchen's looking flat out of the gate in the half. Frankly, they have looked a little bit stale after coming back from halftime. Perillo hasn't got the ball too much. It's been a little bit slower than expected for this Metuchen offense and defense. They're going to kick off from the 50 after the penalty from the last play.
I think they just got to feed Perillo, because they have not given the ball to him that much this play, and they have been doing, spreading the ball around, which is good, but Perillo is the main part of this offense and one of the only skill positions on the offense. So if they just give it to him, he will lead this team to at least a touchdown.
So
they just need to run it to him, pass it to him, just feed AJ.
So they're going to kick it off from the 45. This one's going to be taken by Holloway. They're going to keep it away once again from AJ. They're trying to avoid him on those kicks. You see a lot, they kick it to Aiden, who's not much of a better option because he's still super good as well, but AJ is definitely better than really anyone on the field overall. But a little score update between the girls soccer game. It's 2-2 at halftime. Metuchen tied it up. It's the end of the first half. Metuchen 2 and North Brunswick 2 in girls soccer, the GMC semifinals. So the winner of that will play, as I said earlier, on Wednesday in the GMC championships. So really, really interesting there. But in this game, very interesting as well. 1:23 in the third quarter.
I know I said to feed Holloway or AJ, but Aiden Holloway is also another very good player on this team. You could give it to him too, and he will be really good. He made that really good, nice catch in the first quarter where he jumped over a defender, and that's AJ right there.
They'll give it to AJ. He gets a few yards, and the pass to AJ will get him a few. So AJ looks really good. When he gets the ball, he's able to do whatever he can with it, and really, I think that if you just ride AJ, it takes out the, it takes out the unpredictability that you want. So I definitely think, if you get AJ the ball as much as you can, that definitely helps. But at the same time, you want to keep, refreshing your playbook. You want to keep the defense guessing. So definitely, they got to get the ball to AJ, but they also have to use other weapons. So it's a run outside. He's got to be met, but pushed forward. Antaporta never goes down. Got a little scrum on the side. He's going to get the first down. So they're going to move the chains for the first time of this drive, and Metuchen offense pretty solid out of the gate. So I think that their best play so far in this game has been that idea where they do a little screen pass to AJ, a quick pass to AJ, has been the most reliable source of yards, which they've they've been riding a lot. And when they do it, we even saw that touchdown earlier from AJ. They have to do it a lot because, it's reliable yardage for them. It's a run, it's Antaporta over the middle, and he's going to get 2 or 3. There is flag on the play.
I think that, I might be wrong about this, but I think that might have been an illegal hit. I saw one of them went for his legs, Let's see what they say. Oh, holding. Never mind. It's holding on Metuchen. So they're going to be pushed back 10 yards. So it's going to be 1st and 20. Going to be hard for him to come back from that.
Holding on Metuchen.
It's 1st and 15.
15.
From the 37-yard line. So the Bulldogs just under half a minute to go in the 3rd quarter.
1st and 15.
Definitely want something to go. They definitely want something to boost their morale right now. Right now they're sort of struggling. It's a little quiet here, but one big play is all it takes to get this team fired up. And when they're fired up, they're really hard to stop. It's a fake run, play action rollout. He's going to take it to the outside. It's Metuchen who's going to cut and breaks one sack and finally gets tackled. It's a sack. It's 2nd down and 17. Look how good this defense is right now. Whenever he rolls out, he gets immediate pressure. So it's the end of the 3rd quarter. We'll be back soon. I'm Mike Bush here with Henry Sia.
And we're back.
Back in action here in the 4th quarter. 12 minutes to go left in this one. 12 minutes of home Metuchen football to go. It's a risky little outside pass to A.J. Perillo. Will fight forward just about a yard or two. Nice little gain, short gain, 11:50 to go. Got to start keeping an eye on that time. I know that it seems like there's a lot of time, but the way their defense is struggling to keep up with the offense, you have to account for the other team to score a little bit more, and Metuchen needs to sort of get this offense going if they want a shot at winning this one. Remember, it's a 2-possession game, so they need to score, make a stop, and get the ball back, all within 11 and a half minutes, which is totally possible, but it's definitely not ideal, so they definitely want to score early on in this drive. It's Steven Metuchen with Antaporta in the backfield. He drops back immediately. He's going to get some pressure initially. This is what we've seen all day, and he's going to break a sack again. Another one, but he's finally trampled on the sideline. That was a great tackle by Chris Hoff, who's been their best player today, surprisingly, after the long touchdown pass. And now some sacks and good defensive action by Hoff. So it's 4th down and long. They're going to have to bring out the special team, and they're going to probably have to boot this one away.
What I've noticed about Metuchen is that whenever he's under pressure, he feels like he needs to break the sack and then try to rush for a gain. He could have passed it downfield, but under pressure, he always goes for the run, which can sometimes be a good thing, but if there are multiple defenders coming your way, and he broke many sacks. That was an amazing play by him, but if he just passed it, he could have gotten a nice gain. A lot of defenders were chasing him. There were not a lot downfield. Could have easily just launched it and got a nice gain instead of running it.
That punt was a little bit of a high one. It didn't go too far. Just kind of bounced backwards. An unfriendly bounce for the punter. They have ball from the other side of the field, and now the Blue Jays really back in action, just looking really good in every aspect of their game ever since the second half began. And it's all been mostly right now. It's been a big factor because of Chris Hoff, who's been really good in all aspects, and Robinson, who just got the ball, really good and reliable with the ball in his hands. So solid yardage again for Robinson, maybe a yard or two, but it's definitely burned some clock.
Number 75 is down.
And that's Rocco Dagon, their star.
Oh no.
Star D lineman. And
Yeah.
Just gotta hope he's okay. All Metuchen players go on a knee, silence from the crowd.
He was punching the ground about 10 seconds ago in pain. Looks like it's his leg that got hurt.
It's 21-12 in the fourth quarter with 10:05 to go. Bulldogs trail by 2 possessions. They are on defense, and the odds are certainly not in their favor, but they're certainly not 0. So the odds may be low, but they just got to get their defense and momentum really going, and they could have a real good game in the final quarter. But they just have to, kind of get that spark that we've seen plenty of times from them. Maybe give it to Perillo and just say, hey, give us the momentum we need. So but this is certainly going to take something out of them. One of their best players, Rocco Dagon, the senior, will be graduating this year. His last home game for Dagon, and he goes down. And
still on the ground. No sign of really getting up yet.
So the girls' soccer team still back, still tied up. It's 2-2, but they've come back from halftime. They are back in playing time, and it's 2-2. Still an even match there between the 2 girls' teams. Still no signal from Dagon, but he'll finally sit up, and some progression now for Dagon.
It looks like his left leg got some sort of injury. Definitely not fit to play. Oh, wait. We'll see if he could walk to the sideline or not.
They'll run out. That looks like Cody Cardillo, and that was Cody Cardillo, and there's some teammates out there to help him come on off the field, but limping away. It's his left. Looks like his left foot, which really isn't too good. Just gotta hope it's very minor, but from the looks of it, it doesn't look too great, but it definitely could be worse. So he's limping a little bit, but he does have some pressure on his left foot. We're back in football now. We'll update you on the Rocco Dagon injury if we can.
2nd and 8.
Second down and 8 from the 45-yard line of the Metuchen Bulldogs, and it's Stephen Young who hands this one off to Robinson. And actually, excuse me, I got faked out. It was a read option. He's gonna lose 5. Well, Stephen Young has been really good, and the option with Robinson has been very successful. We've seen a lot of runs. We saw earlier on in the game a lot of runs to really everyone but Robinson, and then not until they gave it to Robinson for the first time had they started using him. Mostly every single time, he's pretty much the only guy that gets the ball in terms of the running game besides their quarterback, Stephen Young. Third down and 9 to go.
What happened that play? Oh, wait.
Toss to the outside. He's got his speed. He's got placement on the sideline. It's a first down. Really, really nice run. Colin Deem will get them the first down. Once again, unable to slow down this offense. It's really going to cost Metuchen the game if they can't stop the offense of the Blue Jays. So they have to get this offense. Slowed down. They need to get the offense going and clicking, or else this is going to be a big problem for them. And they're shooting themselves in the foot if they can't make those tackles.
Jumping back to the previous play with the 5-yard loss, you saw that Young was looking for his running back. He's trying to toss it, but like the pressure just came too fast, and he just couldn't get it off, and it ended up being a bad gain. Speaking of Stephen Young running, he just got a nice gain around the 10-yard line.
Young will get out of bounds. First down though, and now they're in field goal range to make it a 12-point game if they need to, but they definitely have goals to make this a touchdown and and make this a 3-possession game if they can, and that would totally silence the Metuchen players. But it won't be easy. They would have to make a lot happen. They would have to make the 2-point conversion and all, but still got plenty of time for the Bulldogs. But time is running, and they only have so much time because, yeah, it looks like a lot on the board, but it's still a 2-possession game. Looking over at Rocco Dagon, he looks to be improving a little bit, putting weight on both legs now, walking around as you guys see up on your screen. So looking good is Rocco Dagon, starting to improve himself. And it's a gain of 4 on the play.
Yep. Like you said before, it's going to be incredibly hard for Metuchen to come back from this. I thought it would be a close game, but I don't know what happened to their defense, but it looks like they're gonna score at least some points on this drive. And that was to Young.
It was Young who will be met. And negative yardage there will make this a little bit of a tough 3rd down play. But they've looked good on 3rd down so far today. Looked very reliable and very good on 3rd down. So they don't have too much of a reason to worry.
The camera's, the scoreboard was shaking.
So 3rd down, 6 to go. It's a run over the middle. He's brought down, and that's going to set up 4th down. That's the stop they needed. I would not be surprised if they go for it here and just try to put the icing on the cake if they can get into the end zone. That's what they'll do. It's Stephen Young who's sent right back out there, Henry.
Wow. If this is a huge play for Metuchen. If they could stop them right here, they have a spark and they have a chance of winning. It's 4th and 3. If they could get the 4th down conversion and get a touchdown, then the game, I consider that game over. Unless a miracle happens, this game is over.
So nonetheless, a big 4th down play here. 3 yards to go. 21-12 is our score with 6.5 minutes to go. Clock is running. There's a timeout on the offense. They have only 1 remaining in this half and 1 to go in the game. 6 minutes and 18 seconds to go before Middlesex looks to get their 4th win of the year. Bulldogs do not want to lose this one, but it looks tough now to dig out of this hole, and they're gonna have to get some stops, and they're starting to show that they are getting some stops here, but they need to stop them here on 4th down.
If they could stop them at 4th down right here, I already said this, it would be a huge turning point in the game. It would still be hard for Metuchen to win, but it would give them a little glimmer of hope. And if Middlesex gets the 2-point conversion, that would make it a 3-possession game, which would make it extremely hard for Metuchen to come back. If they could somehow get the 2-point conversion and the touchdown, 3 possessions will be so hard from Metuchen to come back from. You could consider it closed, the game over. So, very important play.
So it's a 4th down and 3 to go. They got a high pressure situation here. This could be the game on the line, as you said. That's Robinson in the backfield. I might expect him to give it to Robinson because of how reliable he's been from the backfield, just picking up solid yardage. They send him motion, and looks like it's going to be a little counter over the middle. It's a fake run rollout, and he's going to cut, juke,
and
touchdown.
Yep.
Wow. Stephen Young. He's in for 6.
And that's closed.
Makes it very hard for Metuchen to come back from now.
Yep. Stephen Young using his speed for his 2nd rushing touchdown today. His speed has been a major factor in this. He's been using the running backs to play. They've been using play action and his running ability to get several key rushing plays. They very rarely have to pass. They could just run it with both the quarterback and Robinson, and both of them just have been doing really well. And now it is 28-12, a 2-possession game.
So 28-12. It's a really, a pretty sizable margin now. It's a 16-point game, but guys, remember this is a 2-possession game still. It's not completely out of range. They need to get 2 touchdowns and two consecutive drives with touchdowns. Can't allow any more points, but they need to make both 2-point conversions. It's not a high chance at winning this one, but certainly a chance. The Bulldogs, though, need to get the offense going. We've seen slumps in this half. They literally they haven't scored this half yet, and they've looked really slow out of the gate in both on both the offensive side and defensive side, in part because they haven't looked as good, in part because Middlesex has looked that good. They've looked really good out of the gate. So clashing factors for the Bulldogs, and now they're in a struggling position. They need, in this high desperate situation, 2 touchdowns and 2 2-point conversions. So it is possible, but that doesn't mean it's likely.
On the other hand, just to quickly mention this, Rocco is sitting down, but he has his helmet on, so he might play again in this game. Hopefully his foot injury or leg injury isn't that big. But I don't know what'll happen, but hopefully he gets better. And hopefully Metuchen can score 2 times, get the 2-point conversion, and come back from this. But it'll be very difficult.
So Nick Gould is going to kick this one off, and it looks like a little squib onside kick. And jumping on it to make sure he's got the ball. That one is... That's recovered there by Metuchen, and it's Kendall Johnston, the sophomore, that jumps on it. And he's kind of holding...
I think he might have some sort of injury.
He's holding his stomach a little bit there. It looks like he maybe got hurt a little bit on the dive, but it's going to be 1st down and 10 from the 35-yard line.
A lot of injury.
Big play here for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, a lot of injuries in this game. Hopefully, Kendall Johnson will get better. Yeah, it looks like maybe he just landed on the ball weird, but we'll see. Oh,
they've got AJ.
Guess who?
There he is, and 1st down and more for the Bulldogs, and there's 13-yard gain, and the Bulldogs get a 1st down. 6 minutes to go on the clock. So now they go, hurry up offense. They're speeding this up, want to give their defense time to make the stop, and they want to give themselves time to score another touchdown if that's the case. And jumping up, there's A.J. Perillo. Once again, holds it in for the 1st down. Offense running at top speed, trying to get the, limit themselves to keep as much time up on the board as they can. So 1st down and 10. It's Stephen Metuchen leading his team very well so far. 2 back-to-back plays with 1st downs. Hauling it deep. He's open. It's Aiden Holloway, and it's a Bulldog touchdown. Give him 6 more. It's 28-16. Touchdown Bulldogs will now set up a 2-point conversion, which they really have to convert.
I'm sensing a momentum shift here because they just made a huge play to Aiden Holloway. We mentioned him earlier as a very good receiver. If they could get the 2-point conversion here and get the ball back, then they have a chance of winning. Like, it's even more possible now to end up tying this game and going to overtime.
Lead. Bulldogs got the ball. It's on the 2-yard line for the 2-point conversion. And they have not been good on extra points. Missed the extra point, then missed the 2-point conversion today. So gotta convert this one. This is the biggest pressure situation, and hits AJ.
He's got it.
So AJ Perillo once again putting in the work, calls it in. It's 28-20, and Bulldogs got their chance, only burning off a few minutes off the clock, and they're only down by 8 now. And you gotta think, you just have to think that the Blue Jays, you have to think that they feel bad that they didn't go for 2 on that last drive to just put the end to this game. Would have made a 3-possession game, and it would have been a big problem for them. So make sure to keep an eye out for that onside kick, which the Bulldogs will try to convert here. And remember, an onside kick is when the Bulldogs will kick it hard at the receiving team to try to get them to fumble. We have already seen one kickoff forcing a fumble earlier this game from the Bulldogs, so maybe they'll do it again here. Try to see them attempt the onside kick here. Remember, there is 5 minutes to go, so we'll see what they do. They only have 2 timeouts, though, so keep an eye out for the run game and burning out the clock because the Bulldogs only do have 2 timeouts to go. So
Looks like they're going for a normal kick.
it is
Their normal formation.
probably a normal kick. We'll see what Coffee ends up doing. And no tricks up his sleeve this time. It's a kick that's going to roll. Maybe it gets out of bounds. It does not.
And
But if it had gotten out of bounds, that would have been a really bad penalty. It would have been a free kick out of bounds, and it would not have been good for Metuchen. But it does get recovered in inbounds, and they have it deep in their own zone now. So the Blue Jays have it deep in their own zone. Now think about this. If they're unable to, convert on the first down and are forced to punt it, the punt's going to be a lot shallower in their own zone or deep in Metuchen's zone, and it's going to give Metuchen a lot easier of a drive. So I'm surprised he decided to just kind of go down and not take it out. Maybe they're just trying to avoid the fumble the best they can. So with good coaching, this game could be won for Middlesex, as long as they limit themselves and waste a lot of clock and make sure to hold on to the ball. This game could be won, but we'll see what they do as there's 5:22 ticks to go. It's a run, and he's going to be met right away. Wow. Robinson, a guy that's not really easy to be slumped like that is, and look at that. That's Rocco Dagon right back out there on the D-line. Cadilla, I think, got in there for the tackle. He gained about 1. It's 2nd down and 9 yards to go from the first, and clock is just at 5 minutes to go.
they're most likely going to go for a run on this play to try and get out the clock, because there's only 4 minutes and 52 seconds left. So if they get 3 and outed and they have to punt the ball, or they go
It's a run to the outside. He's taken down. What a tackle.
Guess
and
who?
Guess what? It's
A.J.
Perillo. A.J. Perillo brings him down. And it's 3rd down. The clock's still ticking away, but now the Bulldogs looking really good here. So 3rd down and 10 as they lost about a yard on that play. We're back to 3rd and 10. Maybe they'll go to the pass here to try to get the first and waste more time. We'll see what they do, though. They have Robinson in the backfield, 1 out wide, way wide to the right. And looking over at his head coach. Clock does spin, continues to spin. It has been frequently when they have the ball. They've been wasting a lot of time with the ball in their hands.
It looks like they're going to...
Looks like it's a timeout called, and it's going to be called by the Blue Jays. So the clock stops with 3:58 to go in this one. A really tight game right now, and unexpectedly as well. A few minutes ago, we weren't expecting this, but after the long touchdown and 2-point conversion, Metuchen's chances of winning this were majorly boosted, and now stopping him early, Metuchen has a chance to, to keep it going here. So the second half of the girls' soccer game is underway, and still 2-2 is our score. Such a tight game, and they're obviously, as we talked about earlier, girls' soccer team undefeated. So again, make sure to come for the final stages of that game. This game also having a tight outcome here in the final stages. So 3:58 to go, under 4 minutes. It's Metuchen versus Middlesex, 28-20. 3:58 to go. 3rd down and 10. Long ways to go here for the Middlesex Blue Jays. They need all 10 of those yards, and it's going to be on 3rd down. So 3:58 ticks to go.
This might be the biggest play in this game.
Potentially, yes. Here's a run to the outside. Worked last time. And Miletichen's going to catch up to him. And they bring him out of bounds. And guess what? That stops the clock as well. So he's going to be brought out of bounds. And it's 4th down.
I believe it's around the 4-yard line. So it's going to be 4th and 4. Are they going to go for it? We're about to find out. If they do, it's going to be a very gutsy call. It says 4th and 2. They're going to go for it. If Metuchen can stop him here, they will win. If they could get a stop on 4th down, they will they won't win, but they'll have a really great chance of winning.
So they have no return man and no idea of returning this. They're just focusing on the on the fake, and I guess you could maybe say that was smart, but not the way the bounce was going, because it rolls all the way to the 31-yard line on the Bulldogs half, actually the 30-yard line, a big punt, and with no return man, that ended up harming them more than it did help them.
My mistake. It was not a. I thought they were going for it on 4th down, but they ended up punting it, and it is at the 34-yard line. So this is a real test for Metuchen. They have 2 timeouts left. They have to get 65 yards. Can they make it to the end zone, get the 2-point conversion, and tie it into overtime? We're about to find out.
So from the 30-yard line, the Bulldogs have a long ways to go to the end zone, but they also have some time. In football knowledge, this is a lot of time. 30 minutes and 34 seconds is actually a lot of ticks to go. So dropping back is Steven. He's going to sense the pressure, and this time he will not break the sack. He's brought down, but he didn't lose that much. He did not lose that much. He lost about a yard there, but once again, every time they drop back, the O-line seems to have a little bit of an issue at blocking. They're very limited in terms of in terms of amount of time that Steven has to throw the actual ball. There is a timeout, which will stop the clock with 3:24 to go. Metuchen is in deep shape right now. They have a pretty low chance at winning as long as the O-line keeps doing this. They need to give Steven more time to throw the ball, because it seems that every single play he's avoiding the guys wearing the white shirts and trying his best to not get sacked the best that he can. But if the O-line could give him some more time and more space to throw the ball, it would be a lot easier for the Metuchen Bulldogs to score points.
I agree. It is now, if the O-line can hold up and give him time, he could throw a deep shot to one of his many deep threats, such as AJ Perillo or Aiden Holloway. They both have had a receiving touchdown, which was at least more than 25 yards, I think. Definitely more than 25 yards. We'll see what he does here.
Back to screen. It's AJ who goes to the outside and rightfully goes out of bounds, which will stop the clock. 3:17 to go. And it's 3rd down.
Brings up 3rd down for Metuchen.
Good call there. He was able to get a lot of good yards, and he was able to go out of bounds, stopping the clock. 3:17 left. This is a very tight game.
It is 3rd down, and there is 7 to go, so they have a big play coming up. They have, I guess, 2 plays really to go for Metuchen, because they're definitely going to go on 4th down if they don't make it. So 2 plays to get 7 yards. Can they do it? We'll find out. Here's Steven. He gets the ball. He drops back. He's got some pressure along the outside, and he's got his guy. It's Aiden Holloway. Hauls it in,
First
and
down.
just a little walk out of bounds, stops the clock once again, and the pass is complete for the 1st down. So 28-20, and suddenly this game is a lot closer than we thought minutes ago. So 3:12 to go. Metuchen looking a lot better, and they're having that fight that maybe they wouldn't have if they weren't playing at home right now. Fans on your side, cheerleaders over here, band is playing at full blast. Really, home field advantage is a big factor in games like these. So I think we're seeing a lot of that here for Metuchen right now. Here's 1st down and 10. It's Steven who drops back, and once again, sensing pressure, and then after the first one, he's brought down. The initial pressure there, and then he breaks one. He broke the Anthony Gonzalez tackle, who's in there almost every single play, but couldn't survive the second hit, and he lost almost 11 yards on it. It's 2nd down and 20 to go. So now Steven and his offense need to get something going here. 2nd and 21. He drops back, and he's got his guy around the outside. A nice play. Wow, he gets hit hard. And he got a little look. That's the quarterback, Stephen Young, also playing defense. Hard hit to bring down John Balesta on the out route.
Stephen Young can do it all. He has the speed. He could scramble as a quarterback. He could throw as a quarterback. And apparently he can make really hard hits.
Third
as
down
a safety.
14. They got 7 on the last play, and he's going to air this one out. Didn't look like that great of a throw at all.
And
Looks
batted
like it was
down.
It was in the air for a little too long. You want to throw a bullet pass, I think, in that situation. But he gave the safety a little too much time to get over and get his man to knock it down. So that wasn't really typically considered a good throw. But now they got 4th and long, and they're the game lies right now on their 14 yards. Can they get it? Expect a deep route now to one of their deep threats and one of their star players like AJ, Aiden, maybe something like John Ballesta. Maybe you'll do a little scramble, maybe a screen. We'll see what they end up doing, but they have plenty of options right now. Just gotta get a clean 14 yards for the first.
Speaking of AJ's, AJ West, the running back for Middlesex, made the swat and without the swat, probably would have gotten the touchdown.
Rolling out, it's a throw, and it's AJ Perillo. Hauls it in, and they still got a chance.
2-minute warning.
There's some laundry up on the field, so actually 3 flags.
3 flags on the field, wow.
Yeah, and with 3 flags down, if this is against Metuchen, how deflating is that? Like,
well,
again, the inability to make big plays due to holds or, illegal blocks and such, that would be a killer for the Bulldogs,
okay.
and it is.
So one of them was holding.
5. It'll set him back 5 yards.
Holding.
Also,
False start.
on Middlesex,
Or, no,
offset.
offset. So the penalties, I believe, offset, but there's also a 3rd flag. I don't know the call.
No, it's just 2 calls, but 3 flags for.
Ah.
It will once
4th
again
down.
be 4th and long.
So
and
it is
very
4th and long.
So Metuchen's gonna have to convert once again on this 4th down and 14 to go. This is it. If they can't make it,
4th and 14.
they will
for Metuchen.
unofficially lose this game, but this is a huge pickup they need to get after a long play to Perillo. You know that the Blue Jay defense is looking out for that play. It's Steven rolling out once again. They're looking to do the exact same play. He throws this up, and he underthrew his guy, Aiden Holloway. No flags, and that will ineffectively end this one.
Turnover on downs.
It's a turnover on downs. Blue Jays will get the ball on the Metuchen side of the field, and that's a big problem for Metuchen. You could pretty much put an end to this one. Now they just have to focus on ball security. Hold on to the ball. Make sure you don't lose the ball. Make sure you don't fumble it. Make sure you don't throw any picks.
Guy Jensen, sorry about that, but Guy Jensen seemed really angry, tore off his headset, spitting on the ground now after that failed 4th down conversion. You saw Mealism, like he scrambled left and was trying to roll out just trying to roll out left and trying to throw it up to AJ Perillo, but the pressure just got to him. Oh, an offsides.
And it looks like a flag on the play, which will set back the Blue Jays again. False start on the offense will make it a 1st down and 15 yards to go. Remember, they're doing that set where they have Robinson in the backfield, so expect a lot of runs to Robinson, which will probably be what you see. Remember, the Bulldogs do have 1 timeout remaining, so only 1 timeout, which will stop the clock just about only on 1 play, which will not, it doesn't help too much, but it's definitely some help, and there's a run fighting forward, and that was a solid gain by, looked like Nick Jamison. Guys, keep in mind, on the last play, the athletic director, Mr. Cathcart, was just holding back Coach Guy Jensen from the referee. Coach Guy Jensen has been up in the ref's ear the entire game and holding him back from who knows what he'd be saying to the ref. So, very angry and dissatisfaction from the coaches and players and fans of the Metuchen Bulldogs. 2nd down. And it's a run over the middle. That's Robinson again. He trucks his way, and now it's just white versus blue pushing back and forth. And they'll be met after a little stalemate in the pile. Metuchen will burn their 3rd and their final time out. So that does it for their stoppages in clock. And now Middlesex Blue Jays have the ball from the 35-yard line. It's third down, and I mean, it's not officially over, but I think that depending on, how much time these plays take, this game could be over. You gotta assume they'll just take knees, burn off the clock, because Metuchen has no more timeouts. But even if they do, that will only burn a few seconds off. It'll burn, maybe 30 seconds off the clock. Metuchen will probably get a punt. They will probably receive a punt, assuming that there's no first down involved, and we'll see what happens. But Metuchen might have a few deep shots to go in this game. So the odds are not in their favor, as I've said, but the odds are not zero. So that means there's definitely a shot. So they've got their whole defense out there. And interesting to see what they'll do on this play. The Blue Jays on third down and 7 yards to go. It's Robinson in the backfield. If he runs past that first down line, it is over. The game will end if he runs past the first and gets the first. But if not, maybe there's some stuff to go. So it's a run, and Robinson fights forward.
Ball carried by Robinson.
And he's down.
It's short.
That's right, he is short, so that's going to be fourth down and 3 to go. Maybe they'll go for this one, and just, if they get the first, it's over. I think that's what they'll do here.
Clock is still running.
Fourth and about 4.
If they go for it and they fail, then it'll have to be a Hail Mary all the way from the 30-yard line. We'll see what they choose to do. Just note that there's about 25 seconds left on the clock. Now about 20. We'll see what they choose to do. They're trying to make the game clock run as long as possible.
So on fourth down, it's a run, and Robinson
Ball
falls
carried by Robinson.
forward. And no motion yet by the refs, but if he was short, remember, turnover on down stops the clock. And so Metuchen will get the ball with 7 seconds if he is short, but if not, it's game over, essentially. So the officials are gonna call a timeout and try to discuss this over and maybe get the lines crew out of this. Remember, if the measurements are further left than the ball is, that means the ball was short and the Bulldogs get the ball. But if the measurement is either lined up or behind the ball, then they win the game, essentially. So they're going to bring it out and mark it.
Oh, no.
First down.
First down.
So that's going to end the game. And some controversy. Wow, Coach Guy Jensen out towards the middle of the field right now.
Uh-oh.
Not happy whatsoever. Another game with controversial ending. And there's a flag. It looks like it's got to be on the coach. There's
another
multiple flags up on the field.
Fights are breaking out here.
There's multiple flags up on the field. Oh, another one.
Another one.
And it's swatted down by Matt Stadovsky. He swats down the flag that was thrown at him. This could be yet another controversial finish after last week's loss after a fumble in the end zone, which seems almost impossible to fumble in the end zone, but somehow they considered it was a fumble in the end zone, and now they're saying it was a first down. Even though Metuchen is strongly opposed to that call. So first down, and with all the flags on the field, we're not unable to decide what the calls were. Some boos from the Metuchen side of the bleachers. And you got to think, this is all passion. The seniors' last home game, and they're not happy about this. They're walking off without the game even finishing. The game is technically not over yet, but they're done. They are walking off without shaking hands, and the Bulldogs end the game, losing this one 28-20 in their final home game of the year. So what a tight game this was, but at the end, the Bulldogs just fall short of that win. But we would like to thank you guys. This is our final regular season football game that we will be broadcasting. Thank you to the athletic department and the Metuchen Education Foundation for their continued support, and for producer Ben Solaski and for Eddie Kalegi. This is Ike Bush and Henry Sia. We're going to be signing off the Bulldog Report. We will see you next time here on the Bulldog Report. I'm Mike Bush, and this is Henry Cio. We're done.